I wanted to start again on my YouTube channel since that's where I'm aiming to put this video. I wouldn't put anywhere else. Here's the introcast, the first one. It gets repeated below. We don't need to go down there. What I really wanted to do was show you this. This is channel customization. And the next thing that they suggest I do is add a featured video for returning subscribers. Highlight a video for your subscribers to watch. This video won't be shown again at the top of your page for subscribers who have watched it. So it's a good thing that we started with the intro cast, and the very next thing that we're going to take a look at is Stalking the Wild Agents, which is the follow-up to the intro cast. It's all going to work out just swimmingly. Before we do that, I want to show you one other thing on my Photoscape. Hey, it's inside the red line. I'm delighted. I want you to know that you don't have to look at a video in order to hear the podcast, that there are a bunch of places you can go and download it like you usually do on your phone or wherever you like downloading something you want to listen to. Here are the places where the right business is, and that of course includes Buzzsprout, where we're going to go now, if I get back to the right place, and listen to the podcast. Here we go, I think. Yes. Episode 1, Stalking the Wild Agent. I have a disclaimer to start. If this is your first novel and you are looking for an agent to get your book published, don't. One of the most basic caveats of the right business is good enough isn't. Your first book is not good enough, which you will know by your third book. And you need 3 books. You need them so that if you get published and your book hits well, the publisher to agent to author triple play, we need another book now, gets to home plate. If you're an experienced writer, you already know that your first book wasn't good enough, but you also probably have 3 or 5 books in your bag and are confident you have a good story well told that can compete in the marketplace. A one-book newbie can query if they adjust their expectations, because practice querying is valuable. This podcast is designed to help you write a query letter that is better than good enough, so you leave the agent with a positive impression of you for future queries. Okay, on with the stalking. Just as you can't stalk wild boar in the Nevada desert because there are none there, you have to find the lairs of literary agents. Luckily, someone has done this for you in the writer's guides mentioned in the introcast and on the podcast support blog, to which there should be a link visible someplace around here. If not, you'll find it at blog4writebusiness.blogspot.com. In these guides, you'll find hundreds of agents and agencies and publishers and amazing information. Wild boar also don't nest in trees or live in herds. You need to know the life ways of your prey. An agent doesn't decide if they'll rep your book, not unless they're a one-person outfit. They decide they want to, then they have a whole slew of other people who will vet the work, discuss the market, what publisher might be interested, and critically, if you're talented but potentially unstable or an informed professional good to work with. Again, listen to the 5-minute infocast. Wild boar won't eat trifoliate oranges, and that's about the only thing they won't eat. Here's some more insider prey info. What in a query letter makes an agent bilious? Not knowing the submission policy or ignoring it. No SASE. Calling up to verbal pitch. Stilted language. not knowing how to properly use the English language, which can happen to a lot of native English speakers. Self-deprecation is as bad as self-aggrandizement, acting like they are doing the agent a favor offering their book. No discernible enthusiasm for their own work. Not having a grasp of their own story or characters or genre. Over-explaining their story. Wild boar find almost anything but sand and trifoliate oranges yummy. What does your agent feed on? What agents crave? Someone who loves to write and lets the agent do the selling. Carefully edited, proofread letter and manuscript. Some background on the author, not just story description. Some story description, not just a sales pitch for the writer. So we're talking about balance. They like clever, intelligent, confident about their work voices. They want the writer to have some chops they can demonstrate. And while you don't necessarily have to have a lot of pre-publication, you do have to have some expertise, be self-educated in the thing that you're writing about, and have true enthusiasm and love for your genre. A submission accompanied by a muffin basket. And they said they were kidding, but I wonder what would happen if you did that, so they'd know you'd done your research and found them in a writer's guide, and they'll know that you cared enough to research them in the first place. It's a good practice to send your personalized queries out in batches. Aim to send 10 to 15 of them first. That way, if you receive any feedback or none, you'll have the chance to refine your approach before contacting further agents. 3 things can happen once you've sent out your first wave of queries. They'll reject your query, they'll request a partial or a full manuscript for fiction, or a book proposal if you're querying nonfiction, or you'll never hear from them again. Might as well throw that thing down a well. What writers are bad at usually is keeping records. Know who you queried, when, and what the response was, or no response. Keep in mind that agents have clients they are already working with, publishers and meetings and assistants out with the flu. You can follow up politely in about 6 to 8 weeks. Once. Only once. Wild boar will root around in the ground constantly for the sake of one fat, tasty grub. If you and your book are better than good enough, there are agents looking for you. When you pick up one of these guides, whether it's in a library, in your hand, a Kindle version, and start looking through it, the very first thing you do is reject agents. Read the answers to the questions. Listen to the voices of the agents. Do you want to work with them for 3 years? Are you in the, I'll take anybody, I don't care, just please sell my book for me? Don't do that. If you're going to be a professional, be professional to become a professional. Know the long view. You aren't just looking for some guy right now. You're looking for some guy you're going to be intimately connected to for years. So read. Read and you will find out all kinds of things you didn't know about publishing, about agenting, about the inner workings of their minds and their business. Well, we're under 10 minutes. I have faith in you. If you're listening to this podcast, you're not some dilettante, because I'm not a dilettante. I'm serious, and I don't want to entertain you. I want to inform you. I want you to succeed, because we are never in competition with other writers. Your only competition is yourself, and I want you to win. And I will talk to you later.